Alrighty. Here we are. Back again. Thanks to everybody for the patience last week. Needed to take some time because Pollen and I are not friends, and anybody on the East Coast knows right now Pollen is bad. But here we are. Back once again with our dear friend Ezio. Boy. And if you missed it last time, or didn't catch the recap, last time we kicked it off, we got through the prologue, jumped ourselves out of the city, killed our first target, got a little bit of vengeance, and now we're hanging out here, starting to get things rolling in the beginning of the game. So I'm going to take some time as folks are sort of logging on to do a little cleanup around Montergione and get a little money, because money is a part of this game in a way that is interesting. Like, you need money for upgrades, and that means that there's going to be part of this game that is like literally just running around and looting, trying to get stuff, trying to pick up chests, make sure that we can get everything we need to. Now there are chest maps and things that we'll be able to unlock, and I'm not going to try and 100% the chests on our weekly streams. That I think would be a bridge too far for everybody, but we're going to work on at least getting a handful of them, because they're useful and because we need to make sure that our armor is in good shape, because pretty quickly the the enemies in this game get pretty tough. But here we are running around. I don't know about you guys, but weather has been insane. So if we cut out at some point, it's because the storm picked back up. Like, the wind storm attached to the thunderstorm that blew through here was absolutely awful. It took out a tree. Actually, I spent like the hour before I hopped on helping with my parents are out of town. They live not too far from here, and a tree like right next to their house literally took out the second floor of one of their neighbors' houses. So it's been bad. So if we cut out or anything, that will be why, because the weather, man, the thunderstorms here have been absolutely insane the last few days. Yeah, but otherwise, here we are running around looking for chests and things. There's a couple of things that we're going to start unlocking as we get into the villa a little bit more. One of them is these god and goddess statues, the Pantheon statues, which are really handy and fun. I can never remember where all of them are. They always, they're down weird side streets and alleys. But if you see them, shout them out, and if I miss them, or don't, and laugh at me later. But yeah, they are a very good way to get money early game. And as you can hear, they're yep. You do also, you know, there's the fun little additional twinkling noise that comes with any and all collectible things inside of the game, which is nice. Makes it easy. Also really handy wearing the headphones. Let's see. Cool. Let's see. Place one statue, but I don't have the other. So I've got Athena. That's fun. Let's see who. Diana and Apollo. And then. Nice. Okay. But, yeah. So, slow start today. But it feels good. I mean, so we're running around the villa. It is it's kind of nice. It's an upgrade from game one for sure. You have this space that's a little bit more interactable. And in a minute, we're going to start doing some of the quests here that will get us into the base building mechanic, which then also is what's going to make it possible for us to get to some of the other chests and things. Like literally, oh, that hurt. Literally some of the chests aren't accessible until you unlock more of the base. So like you have to actually go in and get through, upgrade the barricades and the support structure to get to some of the chests that are up along the walls. But it's fun. So let's see how we do. Let's see. And this is the fun part where we're a little bit just running around while things kick up. And but we're going to go ahead and climb up here, see what else we can get up. And there's a feather. Yes, because there are also the feathers. So that's the one other thing that we're going to be collecting actively are our brother's feathers. Now, they rectify this in the next game, but in this game, there is no way to track where the feathers are. And so that's the one place where I might lean on a little guide help, just because otherwise finding them is like an incredible pain in the ass. Or more importantly, like incredibly dull to watch, but we'll see, who knows? There are all manner of options and possibilities. But now we get to do a little run around outside the villa. Like the villa is a pretty big space. It's, we'll start to unlock as we get more money and get into the game. We'll start to unlock, things like the well and the mines. And it does just look beautiful. A lovely precursor to what we get in Witcher 3 Blood and Wine, which is a favorite of mine, and which interestingly I heard, or there a rumor is coming out of CD Projekt Red that they're planning to release a new expansion for The Witcher 3 sometime later this year, early next year, along with mod support for the console version of the game. I think in prep for, trying to get folks interested in the next round of content, Witcher 4, whatever that is going to end up being, which is pretty exciting. I'm not going to lie. I've been looking for an excuse to go back and play that game, and not that I need one. It's a fun game to play, and I think it's been a long time since I've played like a Yen romance playthrough, so it'll be interesting to go back and see how it feels so many years later. But they've also done so many improvements on how that game plays and runs on the modern consoles, and it looks great, it plays great, so it'll be interesting to see what they do, especially given how much energy they've there are all sorts of things we could talk about regarding how Project Red plays with crunch and their tendency to really push folks. I mean, I think there was a lot of reporting around this when Cyberpunk came out. Especially, it came out basically as an unfinished game, and then they basically crunched through for multiple months to produce a finished game. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it ends up looking like. And I've seen some screenshots of the new Witcher 4 playtest that they showed. Was it at Summer? I think it was at Summer Games Fest. But not too much. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that and how they choose to carry the story forward. Just because it's, I think there's an argument to be made that they kind of took the story to a point of resolution, and that always leaves you with interesting options regarding what your next step looks like, what your goals are inside of a narrative. What are you trying to accomplish with the game? What do you want to make happen with a game where you've sort of, and what do you want to accomplish with the game where you've kind of come to a resolution previously, and where there was sort of an open-ended ending around where Ciri was going to end up. And I think that given the screenshots we have, they're sort of assuming a canon ending to Witcher 3, which makes sense. You kind of have to, in a forking narrative structure, come to some sort of resolution around this is what happened and this is how things need to carry forward. And I think that game studios are getting increasingly willing to do that inside of letting players make narrative choices and take swings. But yeah, interesting, fun stuff. Interesting, fun stuff. Let me see. I know. All right. So yeah, fun times out here doing a little collectible cleanup. Beginning of the day. Also, just shaking the rust off. I think I honestly need this a little bit because it's I've been making a point of playing through a little bit ahead on. I'm doing run on the PS5 upstairs, just to get a sense of what we're going to be playing going into each of these. And I did that run before I had to count myself out last week, and so I need a little bit of running around collecting things to just get back into the control setting. But I think I'm pretty close, because if nothing else, let's go see what we can turn in here with these guys. Nope. Yep. Nice. And then we get a big chunk of money, which is great. And I really appreciate they didn't used to close them back up afterwards. If memory serves, or maybe I'm thinking about the other... I might be thinking about something else. I might be thinking about something in the next game, but anyway, it's good to, you know, it's nice, it's clean, it's well designed. So there are 3 more statues for us to find. I'm going to do one more lap because at this point, I think it's just one other person who's either a bot or maybe even me in a different tab. I don't know. Currently watching right now, and then we'll dive in. Definitely not gonna keep that in going into the next one. We'll definitely cut my incredibly low viewership from the recap, but it'll stay in for the full stream. I'm not, you know, I intentionally don't edit the VODs. I do an audio mix, but like, you know, you get the full shebang. What I am going to do though is quickly go in here and see. Let's see what's going on, because it's doing the thing that I don't like. Is it because I did the full screen? Is grid the one that gives? Yeah. Okay, good. Grid, not pin. Grid, not pin. There we go. That looks much better. It's cool. Nobody's going to watch this part anyway, at least not in the recap. And we'll see. Okay. Running around, doing the stuff, doing the things, running around. I do love that, you know, they do have a really nice set of diverse barks for you when you are running around on rooftops and things. Like, they make it really clear that everyone is kind of baffled by the fact that you're doing this, which is very fun. Where is that? Okay, so there's something around here. Oh, well, yeah. My health is critically low. Whatever. So there's. But I think, is there something else around here? I heard the sparkly noise. Is there sparkly? The twinkly sound is incredibly helpful for finding. There's something, but where? I wonder if it's in the church. Maybe it's in the church, which means I need to unlock the church, which means I need to renovate the church before I can get to the thing that is in the church. Yeah, seems right to me. That seems right to me. Oh, is it on the window? No, but that is a cool window. I dig that. Oh, there it is. Ah, yes. I found you. Zeus. You big idiot. Yeah, there we go. Jupiter, right? Because we're in Italy, and so it's the Roman pantheon, which does differ ever so slightly. Okay. Now I think there's one more in a back alley over here, if memory serves.
Stop, amico. I wish you no harm.
There is something, I mean, there's also something very fascinating about this idea, and like, about this idea of like having statues that just sort of live on plinths outside of houses. And it's interesting to me that that is it's not a uniquely Italian thing, but it is a thing that I think of as being especially like Italian American in shape. And like that's sort of a general thing. I think my extended family had, there's a lot of religious iconography that ends up in people's yards and out in front of spaces. And my extended family is no different. I think my father is a sculptor, or in part by trade, but also has has always been very interested in exterior ornamentation at his house. But it's also very interesting because I think of it, I think of the idea of like having statues up, and exterior decorating, especially when it comes to, like Christmas and the other winter holidays, and Easter. And like, there's a particular flavor of, the Italian approach to decorating for the holidays that is, it's not so much gaudy as it is just kind of like loud and a lot, in a way that I find fascinating, and that you can see. I can see that through line here in sort of you have these statues that you need to go collect, which is very funny to me. We're only missing one. I'm pretty sure it's inside of the church, but anyway. Let's dive into, since it's almost 8, we're going to dive into our first mission.
We only came here for a little while.
I don't like it here. I want to go home.
I know.
So again, we have these like quests are interesting, in their brevity. Like that was really short. And that was a quest. Technically that was a full quest. But it was, kind of nothing. But also like important in sort of having a space that moves the plot forward, moves people around. A part of that is like, there's a game design reasoning for that, but also it's just an interesting occurrence.
Salute, I did as you asked.
And quickly too, and fast. Now, let's teach you how to fight.
No. As I said, we are leaving.
Ezio, you barely held your own against Vieri. You won't survive a week on the road. If you want to leave, so be it. But at least do so armed with the skills and knowledge necessary to defend yourself. If not for me, for your mother and sister.
Fine.
Ottimo.
So now we're going to get into a thing this is interesting.
You can swing a sword, to be sure, but offense alone will not carry a battle. Survive long enough to strike. I will teach you how to dodge.
You said my father was more than just a banker.
No use dancing around it, I suppose. Your father was an assassin.
I told you before. My father was a paper pusher.
No. He was born and bred to kill.
So,
I find this difficult to believe.
What of the list you carry? Do you think it's merely a catalog of deaths? It holds the names of those responsible for your father's murder.
this is interesting because what's happening here is like what's happening here is a gameplay montage around a training session.
I've taught you how to avoid your enemy's attacks. Now you'll learn how to turn them to your advantage.
But the game at no point really explains how time passes.
Something from an old parchment covered in art writing, perhaps?
How did you know?
You have your father's blade. I think you have the codex page holding it well.
Codex?
A guide to the inner workings of the Order, its origin, purpose, and techniques. Our creed, if you will. father believed the Codex contained a powerful secret. Something that would change the world. Perhaps for him.
I can't be that good. Che c'è? Ma che cosa aspetti?
So yeah, they give us little cues about time passing here, like the light changes, some of the atmospheric stuff changes,
Where you stand,
but also
can make all the difference.
if you hadn't played it before, you wouldn't really get a sense of how much time.
Library. I trust you believe me now?
Yes, my father was an assassin. But why the need for such secrecy?
Are you familiar with the Templars? One of several knightly orders formed during the Crusades. History teaches they were disbanded nearly 200 years ago in France. Only they weren't. Merely pushed underground, where they continued their nefarious work.
So the other thing is that
The Templars seek dominion over man, and we, the Catholics, are sworn to stand against it.
if you get through this too quick, you miss a lot of this information in these barks. So it's an interesting way to structure this particular type of knowledge dump and tutorial. I like it, but they definitely, it's an early approach, and you see it improve as we get further into game design. Like, it's definitely an early take on this type of
Well done, Nepote.
tutorial.
You've really come into your own.
Thank you, Uncle, for all you have given me.
Your family, such is my duty and my desire.
I'm glad you had me stay.
Good. You've reconsidered leaving.
We sail for Spain in 3 days.
But Nepote, I have given you these skills that you might be better prepared to strike against our enemies.
And if they find me, I will.
You want to leave Ezio? To throw away everything your father fought and died for? To deny your heritage? Fine. Come vuoi. Arrivederci e buona fortuna.
Uncle, wait! Why is he so upset?
I love Angry Uncle.
He's been harassing us ever since you first arrived. To be expected, I suppose, given his heritage.
And so all of this feels a little bit overblown until we will learn, not now, in fact, in a while in the game, that it's been months that we've been here. The time has passed. None of that is communicated by the game at this point, but like, it's been at least a couple of months, which makes sense in the training space,
Where
but
is everyone?
not otherwise.
They ride for San Gimignano to slay that snake, Pieri. I wish to join. You'll find what you need at the stables.
And now we get to go fight Vieri. That was also a fun moment of sometimes in this game, somebody will just give you some information and then the game will cut to a new thing and that person will disappear, just poof out of existence. And that's, again, the game shows its age. It's not too painfully distracting, but it does sort of stand out as a like, okay, that was less than ideal, because I think it is a little bit it's a little bit jarring. Anyway, before we leave, we're gonna drop off some flowers.
Ezio, look at her.
Feathers.
I still can't get her to talk. She spends all day and night in front of those feathers Petruchio used to collect. She can't let them go. I don't know what to do.
Don't worry. She'll come back to us. I know it.
Another thing that's really interesting, or at least that I find very interesting, is that hasn't aged as well with the games is, and you see this a lot in how people talk about video games, like older video games in upres, is everybody's eyes feel so damn big. And a big part of that was, in that scene, it felt really important that we see his sister's eyes as part of their interaction and as part of the reaction. But the way to do that in Chop Your Models the way to make that work is to make the eyes bigger. Like you can't really make the white brighter without it looking like they're glowing. You have to make them bigger. But that means that because they're using the same models, it's all the same wireframe. They're just zooming in and out. It's all, no matter where you are in the cutscene, it's all just the same thing. It's the same, the same animation. That means that when you're up close on somebody, their eyes feel much bigger. Their eyelids don't really close. They're like in these earlier games, it's much like it's got that very fascinating, it's sort of a necessary design choice. It makes for interesting up-resing outcomes. I'm also like in my free time, I've been over the last little while, I've been playing Mass Effect, the big remaster that they did, and you see a lot of the same sort of stuff in how they up-res the game, how it all plays out. It's very interesting. I do love his fit. The fashion is so good. Like, I really wanted, when I was younger, to be able to pull off boots like Ezio has. I couldn't. Like I couldn't pull this off. I was never slight. I didn't have the frame to pull off Ezio's outfit. But it was always something that I wanted to do. He just, this outfit is so cool. It was a costume that I always wanted to try. And you get into, there's a little bit more of, it's interesting. You get into some of the assassin fashion for bigger guys in some of the later games. But once they actually start getting into a little bit more body, I wouldn't even say positivity, but like diverse body types inside of their design ethos, they've moved away from sort of the sort of stricter assassin garb, which is, I think, I get why. I think it's a little unfortunate. It bums me out just a little bit, but I get it. I do. We're also going to go ahead and just get these exterior viewpoints done. Tuscany's not huge, and it's going to make navigating the Vieri assassination a lot easier if we just get these viewpoints out of the way and get everything sorted ahead of them. But oh, fun. It is really interesting, sort of like the things that I was just about to say, they're so much more ambitious in this game with like grass and texture and water and, different types of layers, but then that leads to, weird little artifacting, like when you're riding towards a tree, sometimes the way that the leaves and branches scale end up being a little bit weird. It just sort of shrinks down in a way that's not ideal, but it all still comes together in the end. And I think like you end up with this thing that's really pretty. I do think that this designs, like the design on this space, feels like it still holds up after all these years. Ooh, we're not going to do this puzzle at the moment, but we are going to go get that viewpoint. Unless we accidentally stumble onto it. I don't remember where it is. We'd have to run around and find it. but oh, there it is. Okay, maybe we will do that because it's right there. No, we'll keep on trucking. All right. Right. Also, there's so many weird little glitchy things about this game. Like if you zoom out exactly the wrong amount, so there's this middle zone where, you know, you can't zoom out further. So like anyway, fun little artifacting things. No, go on. Okay. Not much. I did some cleanup around the villa, and then we did some cleanup around the villa, and are just getting into Tuscany to get rid of Vieri, the little shit. Little bit of me talking about talking about the rumors that Witcher 3 is about to drop another DLC, along with mod support for console, which is going to be interesting and weird. Like just sort of a kind of bizarre thing for them to do 10 years later, but like, you know, they're just trying to drum back up interest and you know, attention on a game that's like still good and worth playing, ahead of what is obviously going to be a very, very expensive game in Witcher 4 whenever it comes out, and which is obviously going to be another CD Projekt Red jaunt, which means it's going to be like, you know, mostly done, but probably not done until the next console generation. And so we'll see. Assuming there is a next console generation, like that's the other thing that's been interesting, is like people talking about whether or not there will, like, what does it even mean to produce a PS6, especially with Xbox kind of not really seriously being in the running for making a new console. It's all kind of, you know, it's a wild time to be paying attention to the gaming space, especially because like Nintendo being really, really aggro about literally bricking people's very, very expensive consoles. I don't like is setting a weird precedent for folks. It's all a weird time. But yeah, so now we're in Tuscany, and part of what brought that up is like you can see how like this is so blood and wine coated. Like you're just in that space in a way that is you can see the bones of what they will inevitably build, in a way that is really kind of interesting and fun to play with. So yeah, I mean it's also just like it's one of those things where Nintendo is notoriously bad about stuff like this, but it is especially in a time where people spend where you're charging a lot for all of your games, and I get why you have to, but like you're gonna make people spend $90 on the new Mario games. Like that's just sort of the new price point. People are going to want to back them up. People are going to, like, once they buy it, they're going to want to make sure that they aren't going to lose track of it. And so if you're, it is a weird time where the price of things is going up, but companies are also increasingly less willing to actually say that people own copies of creative content, and that tension is going to get that tension is going to get really, really hard to navigate really, really fast. And I think it's going to end up having, kind of the opposite effect that I think, you know, a lot of these companies are really hoping that. Yeah. Right. But emulators, but like they keep losing the emulator battle. You know, Apple, the fact that Apple now has to have emulators on their store, you know, that you have to like that the fact that you have to be able to download Delta emulator from the App Store, you know, and Apple's going to have to increasingly, Apple is losing the fight not to be able to the fight over app stores in general. So they're going to be sideloading more and more and more. That is going to start to eat away at that's going to keep, you know, increasingly eat away at Nintendo and a lot of these other companies, especially in parallel with the fact that people are just playing fewer new games because new games aren't as good. They don't come out as often. And I mean, like, look at me. I'm here playing Assassin's Creed 2, a game that I first played, you know, almost 16 years ago. Jesus, you know. And you know, we're just they can't, the fact that you're fighting a losing battle when you're competing with yourself from the past and an increasingly robust indie market that just isn't playing by the same game, that isn't playing the ruthless game that you are committed to playing, in a way that's like just not. Yeah, I don't see how this pans out well for them, especially when they've, you know, the Switch 2 looks like a formidable piece of hardware, but like, am I going to spend? But am I going to, having, you know, basically spent $600, because that's how much like it's $600. I get a Switch 2 and I get Mario Kart World. And, you know, if you brick that, what am I going to do? Like, do you think I'm going to fight you on it? And then if you hold your ground, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to just keep playing my old games on Switch and everyone else can go to hell. Well, no, but like, so it's the console is $500 and then the game is another like $85, right? Plus tax, plus, you know, screen protectors, all that jazz. Like I'm just like, I feel like that initial investment with the game, like with the one game that is available at launch, I just don't, you know, and especially because then you're then upcharging me for any of the other games that are already like that I already own, but that you're upcharging to play better on the Switch. It's, you know, anyway, capitalism's weird. Capitalism around art is doubly so. But I digress. I mean, granted, that's kind of the point of why I'm here, is to digress. Get over here. Get back here. I want your money. Where'd you go, motherfucker? This is fun because now if he kills him, then I don't get in trouble, but I can still loot his money. Anyway,
What's his problem? Why can't he walk like everyone else?
right, personal PCs are, well, but then you have things like the Steam Deck. Like Steam Decks are increasingly becoming, like, I know people who are more and more, especially as Steam is starting to loosen up a little bit on some of the ways it's willing to like let you like cast from Steam and like some of its other support stuff. I think people are just going to start going in that direction, because, you know, if I can have a Steam Deck and, you know, an iPad, why, you know, if all I wanted a personal PC for was to play certain games, and Steam Decks are increasingly, you know, solid options. Okay, you ready for weird? Let's take a look at something weird. Speaking
It's passed on.
Speaking of guys who probably would have loved their Steam Decks, Subject 16. Okay, so this is a fun one. This is a puzzle where you are looking around for the various apples of Eden hidden throughout history. And last time, one of the things we were talking about, like, this is the thing. This is where this game gets kind of... This game, it is very much a part of, yeah, no, this is conspiracy theory level high. Like, it's big. It's Assassin's Creed, it's Dan Brown meets, like, it is Dan Brown plus like a whole political layer of this. So this is where, like, this is the part that really complicates the reading around the reading of the Assassins as like a progressive argument, like an anti-capitalist argument, because it's also this very strange, like, deep state. It's, you know, they've been pulling the strings the whole time, kind of shit, from the jump. It gets really weird really fast in a way that is very interesting, and gets weirder, just to be totally upfront about it. Let's see. We'll buy more paintings later when I have more money. The treasure map is going to be helpful because it means that we'll just be able to pick up treasure boxes. But yeah, and this is just the beginning. The Dan Brown shit becomes load bearing, because how much do you think aliens have to do with Assassin's Creed? Just like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much? Just you know, ball, like, not, you know, because it's not 10. Oh, buddy. It's not 10, but it's sure as shit not 1. Yeah.
How long can you keep this up? Hey, Cornelio! I'm losing him! Hurry!
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. Oh, buddy. Tom, now I just feel like I can't even say. I want to say more, but I can't because I don't want to ruin the fun. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. No spoilers. Don't worry, but this does, this does mean that I'm going to have to be I'm going to make sure to not I'm not going to hurry our way through, the investigation things. 'Cause I don't want to, I say that, but then we're going to do this one 'cause we just ran into it. But yeah, it's wild, man.
Easier and easier to hack into Abstergo's mainframe. It's like I know what data I'm looking for. I've already lived it.
Yeah. Infinite knowledge. Yeah. So, again, here we go. We're in Vietnam. And we're clicking in on a video, and then we're Clicking in on another thing. Okay, leading the young to their end. Where? Yeah, so now we're looking for like weird little images embedded inside of things. There it is. In the helmet. Flames from its throat poke out their eyes. It's got to be like the top of a bayonet, right? Where? Did you? Nope. Flames. Huh. This one is interesting. Ah, there you are. Yeah. And now we're in the cycle. The wheel, it turns. But like also, is it the face? What are you? I think it's like it's guns. I think it's all the guns. First pictorial representation of a gun, which is here, right? Is it? Ah, there it is. Found the apple. Okay. Yeah. Get ready for weird. Because, like, here's the thing. We have this. We have this. We have this. We have this. What could it fucking mean? Who the hell knows? Let's see if it'll let me. Yeah. And it does let you play all because they're just sort of there. Yep. Yeah, so conspiracy theories abound. We're in for Tom. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that there are people on this journey who've never experienced it before, because it gets weirder than this. This is where we're buckle up. We're tip of the iceberg for sure. Like this, even the weirdest stuff we're going to talk about in this game doesn't come close to some of the shit we'll get into in future games. Cause yeah, fuck, shit, it gets bizarre. Come on, climb. Okay, but with that out of the way, I think we should be, after I get this viewpoint and one of the accompanying feathers, which is a pain not to get associated with this viewpoint, we're going to dive all the way into killing the shit stain. Look, I also feel like this is one of those things where I just realized some Patreon content that I think is going to have to happen is I've never watched the really bad Fassbender movie that they made. Kind of out of principle. But I'm curious as to whether or not any of the Fassbender, any of the weird stuff gets brought up in that, which I think would like help it break containment. But I feel like, you know, at this point, Assassin's Creed is kind of about aliens is very much a like part of, I think of, so I definitely think of like this run of games, specifically like 2 Brotherhood, like 2 through 2 through Black Flag, as being like part and parcel with the aliens guy meme. Like I think of them like going hand in hand. I think they're functionally the same thing in my mind. And I don't know if that's just a me thing or oh, shut up everybody. I don't know if that's just a me thing or if that's like there's another subset of people who are right there with me on that. Okay, now I'm gonna go steal a codex page, but first I'm gonna buy. Right. Knife belt upgrade. Yes, because get that. Then do I need the medicine pouches? No, I don't need that right now. And then I am going to do this because I think it looks cool. And cool. Now we're going to go ahead and do... Excellent. Quick work done well. Fantastic. Okay, now we're just gonna go. Okay, let's go meet up with our uncle. Kill this fucking kid. And by kid I mean like peer. Not actually murdering children. Because that would be uncool. We don't kill children. We're not pro child murder on this podcast. Okay. Things I probably shouldn't say just because the implication of having to say them is bad, but you know, what's done is done. Can't take it back. No, we're here to take out Vieri, everyone's favorite asshole, and the jerk from the very beginning who threw the rock that give us the scar that makes Ezio look so cool. Oh man, a thing I love about this game is that every time I think about the next game, I also get excited. Like, I'm very, very excited about I'm very excited about Brotherhood because Brotherhood is very fun, but then I'm also super duper excited about when we get to Old Man Ezio, because Old Man Ezio is just a good fucking time. And I love, you know, I'm very excited to get to Constantinople. I just, you know, there's so much good content to be played. Dude, just fucking drop, you know, murder. My man, I just need you to do some murdering. Just faster with the murdering. There we go. Okay. Excellent. Beautiful. Perfect. No notes. Yo, yeah, no, that's so Revelations is the third in the Ezio trilogy, and it is really good. We'll talk about it more when we get there, but it is so they basically take, so it's Ezio, but it's Ezio going through, it's Ezio and also it's Ezio with some additional genetic memories from Altair, and so you get like a little bit of you get Old Man Ezio, but you also get this like parallel experience of Old Man Altair in a way that's very, very fun, because it's very much like the two of them having a little meditation on what it means to leave something behind, like what is a legacy, all that jazz. It's very, very good. It also has like one of the most fun hidden blade mechanics that you get into. Swinging around Constantinople is very entertaining. Yeah. Plus Ezio in a beard is great, and it's perfectly timed for us getting out of, this game and the next game live inside of a very, like, this is sort of the color palette, and you get into some vibrant, but you get into a little bit of vibrancy, but it's all very like Italian earth tones. There's some vivid colors, but it's very much in this, in this space with pops of reds and blues and yellows. And in Revelations, it is much more bigs, bolds, ochres, yellows, golds, Exactly. Italian earth tones, not to be confused with Tennessee earth tones. But yeah. Okay, cool. Having done that, running around and cleaning up, with a little bit of fun in Tuscany, I'm gonna go get this chest. This is the danger of me getting the chest map, by the way. And I'm gonna own that, like, there's nothing you can do about it. I have the controller. Fuck y'all. I get to do what I want. The chest maps are great, but it means every time I see a little chest icon, the gremlin in me that's like, ooh, money, ooh, collectibles, is gonna be like, ooh, I'm gonna go, yeah, I can pick up that chest. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's talk to Mario.
What are you doing here?
Taking responsibility. Vieri troubles you because of me.
Vieri troubles us because he's a Templar, and we are assassins.
Either way, I wish to help.
Va bene. Then listen close. First, we must find a way inside the city, though it seems Vieri expects us. He has sealed the gates and sent his men to guard them. Fortunately for us, the city is larger than his host. The southern gate suffers for it, so this is where we'll strike. Pronti?
So the one other thing that you missed early on is there's a training montage, like a gameplay training montage where they basically teach you the more involved combat mechanics. But part of that montage is time passing, and the game does a really bad job of explaining how much time has passed. At this point, it has been a few months since we fled.
Here's how it is going to work. My men and I will distract the guards. Once we have engaged them, get yourself over the wall and find a way to open the gates. Take these throwing knives.
Find a way.
Snatch the archers.
I'm ready when you are.
Then let us begin.
Also, wait, select throwing knives on your weapon wheel. Press left trigger. Ah. Fuck, someone actually did just say Mamma Mia. So maybe I actually literally cannot talk about it. There are some like very specific things that I remember coming up that I want to talk about, that we will get into when we get there, that like we really, yeah, because like, again, when we get into the stuff that I'm like, I get why you made this narrative call. This might not have been the best choice from a long-term political standpoint. like we'll get there. We'll get there. But like that is there again. This game ends up saying some things about Origin of Species in a way that is like meant to be about the lore, but produces some interesting and strange political interactions because they are trying to frame it as something that could be, you know, the assassins could be libertarian savers or progressive heroes. It gets fucking weird. And then they sort of set it aside in a way that gets, this game isn't, and then this game isn't, and then it is.
Angering the wrong sorts of people, and so now we pay the price.
Careful. What do you want to strike before he like Bernardo?
All right, you know what to do.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about this game is that you can send your guys in to fight and then like stab people by setting up behind them. It's incredibly satisfying. It's a fun little, you know, it's also a great way to it's a great way to handle like higher difficulty enemies later in the game when you're trying to like do clowny stuff like I used to, which was run through some of the mazes to get some of the collectible armors and weapons and things. And now they're all dead. Look at that. A bug literally just landed on my nose. That was very uncomfortable and itchy. I swear to God, if there's a mosquito in here that is biting me on stream, I'm going to be so mad. Where are you? I kill you. Okay. Ugh. Yeah, it's so swampy out here. I wouldn't bring up the weather, except that the weather right now is no fucking joke. The thunderstorm that rolled through here today is it was I literally had to go save my parents the food in my parents' fridge because they are on the West Coast and a huge tree fell through their neighbor's second floor and took out most of the power lines in the neighborhood. So I needed to go like get basically raid their fridge to make sure all of the perishable stuff wouldn't die. But yeah. That's awful. Yeah, that sounds like an absolute nightmare. I mean, you know, the joy of parenting in many other ways, but otherwise that does sound pretty bad. I mean, like, the humidity here is just insane, and apparently it's supposed to be, like, tropically swampy through the beginning of July, which is just no fun at all. No fun at all for anyone. I do love that this game lets you do the drop and grab. Although I then managed to fling myself in a way that was very stupid. But, you know, it's all good. Everything's fine. We do a little murder. Do some killing. Oh, brutal. I do also have to get into the muscle memory of like loot everybody, because it's, you know, the way to make sure that you don't ever have to pay for throwing knives or for potions or for, like, it literally, or for medicine. Like it's a load bearing essential of just, yeah, you just gotta do the thing. You just gotta do the thing. And I do appreciate that, because it is fundamentally a stealth game. They do make you take the time to do it so that you can be interrupted. I do appreciate that.
Ezio, your uncle's under attack and needs help. Go to him.
I find it very funny that like the attack is literally happening around the corner, and it's like, I don't think I needed that heads up. I'm pretty sure I would have just, you know, done it.
I want you to go on ahead. Root out that snake. See the justice, sir.
All right. Okay, sorry. Not gonna be the troll that hangs out and just loots in the middle of a fight. As much as it is incredibly tempting to do so, but here we go. So, I also don't think I mentioned that this is very much like a primer city. It's basically a smaller version of what we're going to get when we get to Venice, and like a mini version of the city that we started in, which we're going to head back to after we get through this one. Our plan today, and I think we're, actually still making totally reasonable time for it, is we're going to murder this little shit, and then we're gonna go murder his father for fun and profit. We're also gonna do some base building. After this, we're gonna get into the base building mechanic, which is one of my favorite things in this game. It's also a great, like, a thing I wish more games, it's a thing that more games do now than they did then, which is it basically says you don't need an infinite money glitch. It's just you'll have enough money. Don't worry about it. Just calm the fuck down, which is nice.
It's settled. Vieri, you will remain here to coordinate the mercenary. Francesco will organize our forces in the city and send word when it's time to strike. Jacopo, your job is to calm the citizens once the deed is done.
What of that ubriacone Mario? He continues to harass my forces, and I fear he'll discover what we intend.
He's always been trouble. Just like that bastardo brother of his.
Then let me reunite them, father.
There will be plenty of time to clean up the rifiuti when we're finished.
Fucking love.
Is there anything else?
Rodrigo Borgia.
Muy bien. May the Father of Understanding guide you.
May the Father of Understanding guide you.
Comandante! Comandante!
What?
Mario Auditore has invaded the city. He comes for you.
Then let's not keep him waiting.
I do love that there's a version of this. You can very easily see the, like, this is, it's got big, but for the grace of God go I, Ezio and Vieri. Like, they are 100%, cut from the same cloth. If his dad if Ezio's dad had been shitty, it could have very easily been him. Now, let's see.
Long time.
Yep. Yes. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Love parry kills. They're so satisfying.
What are you and your allies planning? Is this what my father discovered? Is this why he was killed?
I'm sorry. Were you hoping for a confession?
Cazzo di merda! Vorrei solo che avessi sofferto di più! Hai avuto la fine che meritavi! Spero che
Enough, Ezio! Show some respect.
Respect? After all that's happened, do you think he would have shown either of us such kindness?
You are not Fieri. Do not become.
I love everything about this scene. A big part of what I like is that
read it when you have the time.
It
Our
makes
work here is finished. Let us return to the villa.
Vieri's comment makes the whole, like, you kill them and then you have time for this big confession thing that happens with Altair really stand out as the whatchamacallit, the melodrama that it is. This is, yeah, it's very funny. But it's also like having Mario step in and just sort of be like, hey, calm your shit. Very satisfying, very enjoyable. Also, I don't know why I like the impulse to just run through the loading screen is constant, but it is there. No matter what, I always just feel compelled to run through the load screen. Celebrate with the boys. Look at that fucking beard game.
Campione Ezio.
Oh, hey, Ezio! I see you wasted no time starting the celebration.
And why not? You've done us a great service, Nipote. With Vieri dead, La Toscana will grow quiet once more. And you know what that means.
Basta lavorare.
Si passa tutto il giorno a bere.
E a puttane.
What? It's true. Come, Ezio, walk with me.
Yes, Uncle.
I don't think Mario ever gets a red hat. Not that I know of. He might in the next game.
Pazzi answer to another. Spaniard.
He is Rodrigo Borgia, one of the most powerful men in all of Europe, and leader of the Templar Order.
Which makes him responsible for the murder of my father and brothers.
Yes, and he will kill you too, given the chance.
Oh shit.
And I must stand against him if I wish to be free. But not until every other Templar has fallen to my blade. Father's list will guide me.
Where will you go next?
Firenze. Francesco de Pazzi will share the fate of his son.
A sensible next step. No doubt he intends evil for the city. All right, that's enough grim talk for one night. I'll be in my study if you need me.
I shall read the letter my uncle gave me.
And now, the letter.
Messer Francesco, I have done as requested and spoken with your son. I agree with your assessment, though only in part. Yes, Vieri is brash and prone to act without forethought. And he has a habit of treating the mercenari like playthings. I have received reports of at least 3 men being disfigured as a result. But I do not think him, as you put it, beyond repair. Rather, I believe the solution to be a simple matter. He seeks your approval, your attention. These outbursts of his are a result of insecurities born out of a sense of inadequacy. He speaks of you often and fondly, and expresses a desire to be closer to you. So, if he is loud and foul and angry, I believe it is simply because he wants to be noticed. He wants to be loved. Act as you see fit on the information I've given you here. But I must ask that we end this correspondence. Were he to discover the nature of our conversations, I fear what might become of me. Yours in confidence, Fra Giocondo.
So again, the vision is that Vieri is, you know, a version of Ezio that didn't experience fatherly love, familial love. And I think there's a little bit of like we're talking about sort of that I think is interesting, because I think there is here a commentary on sort of patrilineal trauma, at least. I don't think it's, well, like, I think we could unpack it. I think at some point that will be a part of the conversation, because I think there is something not disingenuous, but there is some, like, what Ezio becomes is not less violent or less destructive than Vieri. He's just less cruel about it, and that's important, but I don't think it's like, it's not the best outcome. Anyway, here's Mario.
Look familiar?
Oh, the codex pages.
Yes. Your father managed to find and translate a few before he...
Here.
This is not your father's work. Someone else has translated it.
Conspiracies in conspiracies.
Do you see the way the words cross from one page to the next?
There is something underneath it all. Some kind of map. Where is it supposed to lead?
Your father and I managed to make out bits of a prophecy scrawled across these pages. It was written by an assassin like us, who long ago held a piece of Eden. His name was Altair. He spoke of something powerful and ancient hidden beneath the land.
What is it?
What indeed? Solving that little mystery is exactly why we collected these pages.
Then let me help. It's time I take on my father's work. All of it. I start with the page I took from
Hell yeah.
Leonardo will decode it for us.
Return here when time permits, and we'll add it to the wall.
Callback indeed. And now, in case we had not already figured out how viewpoints allow us to find things around spaces, we get to go climb up to the villa's viewpoint, and it will then unlock a whole bunch of stuff that we have to use to look around on the map. And a 1 and a 2. Getting the view. All right, so now we go get more foot. I love how they refer to them as the 4 philosophical codex pages, and I'm like, what is that? What does the philosophical bit of this mean? Like, I get why, but like, I don't think that language is ever used again or brought up again in a way that is kind of, it's just a weird, it's just kind of a weird way to describe the codex pages. And again, not wrong, I don't think, but just a little bizarre, you know? Right. There's one over here. Yeah. Alrighty. I guess technically they call them philosophical codex pages because they're referring to like the nature of the creed. But let me see, because they would be in the database, documents, codex pages. Right, and so we can look at them. and zoom in on them and figure out what they are. So and some of them do have text that we can read, but like they need to be deciphered before we can know anything about them. And some of them are just like maps, and some of them are diagrams, but like, you know, it's all kind of like, it's philosophical in the sense that they are interesting. But like, then we have like the apple, and this is a weird one. It's like the apple and Zoroaster in a weird way. But what does it mean? Who can say? And again, this is sort of this is very much, this is the Dan Brown shit. This is like, we are peak. The Da Vinci Code is a bestseller right now. It's all kind of, you know, the secret histories, are, you know, the History Channel is transitioning into a very different type of programming, where you're getting like, did aliens build the pyramids, and that sort of shit is like what is selling on these channels that used to be about actually, you know, telling stories about history in a way that's very interesting, but that you like definitely is deep in the narrative design and thought process of this game. And like, not gonna lie, I loved it. I ate this shit up. I was so into it. It was so fucking cool. And it still is. Like, that's the thing. It's cool. It is a cool idea. It makes the game more interesting than it would be on its own, I think. But I think it also causes some problems for it down the line. Yeah, well, it's part. So because the other part of the problem is that like games like this are looking for any way to be. We're at the early days of like the war for cultural relevance in a way that like video games are flooding the zone, and so everyone's looking for a way to be like, how do we like the idea of integration into other, like the idea of games being integrated into other things, being able to see, you know, the game show up in other places. And that's less true here. We'll start to see it in the next game. And so having these early stage conspiracy theories that you can then sort of seed into places in other media experiences, felt like a really valuable, good idea for the game and for the design. Problem is that it also parallels some existing and deeply problematic conspiracy theories. So yeah.
Salute, Claudia.
Our uncle is un mostro. This is outrageous.
What's happened?
He's making me work. If Father was here, I'd never be stuck behind a desk like this.
And what are the terms of this supposed enslavement?
Since someone decided we're going to stay here, Zio Mario suggested we try and find the money to repair the villa. Problem is, there isn't any.
I bet I can bring in some money.
Oh, great. More work for me. Well, benissimo. If you start paying for improvements to the town, I'll keep track of them in this book. And since I have nothing better to do, I'll also make note of any objects you bring in from the outside. If you actually get this place up and running, travelers might visit and spend money. Although I doubt anyone will want to come this far out of the city. But if they do, I'll keep the money we make in this chest. You're going to have to show up to take it to the bank yourself. Because when it gets full, I'm just going to take the extra cash for myself. Capito?
Deal.
And here we are. We now have a fun little base building, economy building game. Which, you know, easy enough, fun to do.
Is there something wrong?
Ser Mario hired me to deal with this mess, but I'm an arquitecto, not a miracle worker. Without money, I can't fix any of these buildings.
And if someone brought you money?
No DC Fat Cat or Paul. Yeah, we're light today, but that's okay. This is what happens when we miss a week, but that's okay.
I have a price list here for new shops and renovations. Just bring me gold, make a choice, and I'll begin at once.
Oh, this is just the beginning of the base building. There will be plenty more.
You get an even greater discount.
Yeah, base building is going to be fundamental going into
Mario tells me that was very important to your great
in and out through like the rest of the games.
When you buy shops and renovations, you'll be increasing the number of people who visit, causing your income to increase. So let's take a look, shall we?
I also love how the architect is like, allow me to explain basic economics. It's like, cool. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. But yeah, so basically the goal here is to renovate the whole town. But the nice thing is that if you renovate everything, like the more you renovate the cheaper things get, which is really handy. Now trying to remember what order to do things in. Because I think I want to do the well, and then I want to do the church because I want to get the thing inside the church. Then how much more money? I got 6. So I could do the mines. Yeah. Okay. Because then, so the other thing, and that's, okay, cool. So base building is happening. The value of the town has gone up. There's nothing in the chest at the moment, I don't think, but there will be soon. 100% it is happening. Money is coming in. So now what we get to do is we get to go check out the things we just renovated. So first things first, we're closest to the well. And since the well has been renovated, I can now go down into the well, which is this whole other space. I'm trying to remember how to navigate it. But there's like a whole bunch of chests over at the end of it. So it's like you renovate the well, and now, yeah, the well is huge. So now I gotta go up and over. So basically, when you like it, the renovations, like the non-shop renovations, all increase the value of the spot, but also give you access to additional monies. So now I have to remember how to do this without falling, which is surprisingly hard, but yeah. So then we come over here, and like none of these chests are like huge, but it all adds up. So like the base building, and I also like the base building. It's a fun mechanic. It's also a fun justification for, I think they set up a game where money was going to be necessary. Like you were going to have you need money to be able to buy upgrades and things, but they also don't want you to like. It's a nice way to make sure that you're not limited by your ability to see how things will, like, you're not limited by your ability to play like how good you are at the game to get all the updates or upgrades rather. No, don't. Yeah. Well, right. And then, so when, for example, when we upgrade the barracks, yeah, exactly. Upgrades are just personal updates. When we upgrade the barracks, the walls get better, and there are like towers that are currently crumbling that then give you access to a whole other set of chests. So I'm really frustrated because now I'm like, where is that last statue? I thought it was in the church, but it's chests in the church. And there's one more. There it is. Oh, I ran right past it. Dumb me. Okay. Right. So, right, because the villa is also decorated with these 8 statues from the Roman Pantheon, just sort of out on plinths that you can collect and build back in. Oh yeah, 100%. You would, so especially because the Ezio collection I think is like $11 right now. It's really it's well worth it. It's so good. It's such a fun playthrough. And especially because like unlike the first Assassin's Creed game, you get to decide when you start each of your missions. Like you actively start each of the engagements, and so it makes it a lot easier to then go in and say like, okay, my commute's almost over. I don't want to start this, but what I do want to do is go run around and get viewpoints or whatever. And so you have a lot more flexibility there in a way that I think really works. Yeah, it's this, these games are absolutely phenomenal. Selfishly, the one thing that would bum me out if you were to do that is that you wouldn't be able to go on the revelatory journey that we're going on together, because you would get ahead of the rate of play, I think, that we're currently going inside of the stream. But I think that's fine. I'm not out here to be precious about you not getting which ones? Oh, no. So I haven't decided on the Chronicles games. Those, I have not played them before. I tried to. They're side scrollers. That's fair. So the Chronicles games seem really fun. They were mobile side scrollers. I've never played them before. I could see myself adding them in. I didn't include them in the list. I think the playthrough as designed only is just the 3D releases, and the primary console releases. So we're the non-primary, the non-main titles that are included in my playthrough list are Freedom Cry, which is the DLC, and for Black the standalone DLC for Black Flag, which is incredibly good, one of my favorite games, and the one that takes place in New Orleans. which I can't remember what it's called, but those are the two that came out sort of in parallel with Assassin's Creed 3. Maybe that was Liberation. I think, yeah, Liberation and Freedom Cry, because those are both, I think, those are both solid they're solid games. They are, yeah. And the side scrollers, I think, are also, they just don't, because I'm unfamiliar with them, I would be worried about how well they would fit into, I don't know how well they would fit into the project, in part because it's just a little silly. I mean, I would say that you should play Assassin's Creed, but I don't think Assassin's Creed is even on, like, the original is even on Steam, is it? Like, I think right now the only way you can play really? Huh. Okay. I might have to check that out, because yeah, so the director's cut, that's the thing. The director's cut released for iOS, for Apple and Steam, and is a weird thing that doesn't exist inside of, like, that has a bunch of stuff that doesn't exist inside of the canon. It's kind of bizarre. Like, there's so much about that game that they just have really done a disservice to. I would love for them to actually, I mean, there's a part of me that at this point would love for them to go back and actually just do a remake, like, not just a remaster, but, like, literally just take the game and do a solid update. Cause, like, there's so much in that game that was gestural and didn't really, like, needed to be fleshed out. And anyway, it's a good fucking game. It's a good fucking game. Also, it was so hard not to throw myself into just it was so hard not to throw myself into 100%ing it post stream. I still might go back and do that, like, again, like, but I think, you know, down the line. I mean, so one thing I will say is that these are good to sit down for a few hours and play games. I think that I do think very strongly that these are good, like, sit down and play for a while games. Oh, I must not have. But I think it works both ways. I would say that they both play pretty well. I do think the Etsy, like, the remaster deals with, or like the Ezio collection deals with some glitches and produces some improvements that I think really help the overall quality of the game and the gameplay. Oh, that is interesting. I didn't think it was console exclusive. But all right, let's see. Yes, there we go. Okay. Climb. Go on. No. No. Idiot. You're supposed to go up, not off. All right, so this episode might be a little bit more we kill Vieri and then did some shopping and base building. We'll see. We'll see what we get through in the next hour. Just as I realize that I'm like now letting myself get a little, because we're hanging out and talking about stuff, get a little fixated on like trying to, that's fine. It's all good. It's all good content. As long as I'm entertained enough to keep talking, it's all good content. So while we're talking about base building, though, one of my favorite things about the base building is that, so there are these paintings are additional collectibles, and the paintings that you buy also increase the value of the villa, and then you can see them in the villa, and it's so like, it's one of those things where it is just kind of, there is something nice about having collectibles there that are like totally for fun, just there for art, that are like feel economically valuable in a way that is also an important thing historically. Like, villas like this made their money by having paintings. Like, literally, that was one of the ways that they made their money, was that like you bought paintings and then people would come see the paintings and spend money in the town. Or sometimes they would pay to visit the villa and look at the paintings. And that's just fun. I like it.
Ezio, my boy. I think it's time I showed you something.
I'm also not sure if it comes through on stream, but the sound design in this game is incredibly good, because like you do get echo and echoey rooms, and you know, they did a really good job like making the sound feel appropriate to the space you're in a way that is not always the case. And also, yeah, we're going down a secret stairs behind a weird bookcase. Fun and weird.
This is the sanctuary. It was built by my great-grandfather to honor the memory of the Assassin Order and protect its secrets. Look around. These are the assassins who guarded the freedom of humanity when it was most threatened.
Aww.
This is the armor of Altair. Little is known about Altair's life, but his armor is light and very strong.
It's another bot.
I give it to you, but I don't know how to retrieve it. My great-grandfather told me it would remain locked away until all its protectors were
100%. I gotta figure out how to make you a mod.
Located throughout Italia. Hidden tombs filled with treasure, where these six were moved centuries ago. Maybe they have something to do with it. In my younger days, I sought the six myself, with no success. Perhaps you will have better luck.
In order to achieve perfect synchronization with Ezio, you have to get that armor.
Oh yeah, no, I want to make you and Carly mods. That is something that I want to figure out how to do. That has been on my list to sort out. It's just been a hell of a week. Yeah, because there was a chance I was going to be doing this stream from a hotel or a train, which would have been fucking wild. But thankfully, don't have to do that. But did figure out how to do a stream from a train, so that's fun. It'd be weird. It would be hella weird, but it is definitely doable. Definitely doable. If super duper strange. So what I would do is, I run parallels. I run parallels because sometimes there are things like I need to be able to go into Windows Media or like do other shit inside of a Windows ecosystem, and basically what you do is you can remote play from the Xbox, and I would basically just be running remote play, doing a screen share. Like it would be a little bit convoluted, but it's entirely doable. Yeah, entirely doable. And this is also, I mean, it's also part of the reason why I'm definitely going to stick with, because I have, until we get to Origins, like until we get up to the games that have been like explicitly up-resed for the PS5, I'm going to stay with the Xbox, but it would be a lot easier if I was playing this on the PlayStation, because their remote play app is way more robust. Like the PS remote play is really, really solid. And it works really well. So, fun stuff. Now we're back home. But before we go, no, I'm not going to do that, because we're going to have to drop it, like come by and do that many more times. Let's go see our good friend, the totally normal, not weird Leonardo da Vinci.
You are still alive. Look at this place. The past 2 years have been kind to you.
But you are not the same at all, are you?
Right, it's been 2 years now.
I was hoping you might be able to
really,
help
really bad at conveying that in play.
Haha! You found another one. How exciting!
But it makes
This
sense.
one is tricky to break. Clever in its use of ancient languages. Maybe if I just... Oh, it seems to be a manual of sorts for different assassination techniques.
May I see it?
Wait, what's that? It's not so much a design this time, just a series of sketches. What to make of all this? Of course, and why not? What an inspired idea.
Can you make it for me while I try what's in that manual fragment?
Take it. Have my assistant set up some dummies for you to practice with. Hey, Vincenzo!
Also, Da Vinci has Mario's red hat. That's the secret, is like they're friends. Da Vinci's holding on to it. And now we get to learn how to assassinate again. It's things we've been doing for a while, but always handy to get a refresher. So, haystack assassinations, everyone's favorite. Love to do it. Then we have our very fun railing assassination. Now, why did that straw man bleed? Well, if you remember on our last round, Leonardo has a whole bunch of cadavers just sort of hanging out. So who knows what these dummies are made of? And we don't ask. It's probably fine. Almost certainly it's fine. Definitely not dummies made of corpses. Probably.
Come quickly.
Hopefully.
Take it. Try it.
Thank you, Leonardo.
Non c'è di che.
There's someone I need to see while I'm here. I cannot approach him publicly. Would you know a way?
La Volpe.
The fox. Capisco. But do you know where a fox might roam?
Perhaps near the mercato, where the thieves dwell. Sta attento, amico.
I love how he's like there's sometimes the like we're gonna have some things in Italian and some things in English leads to weird choices, like that one where you have Leonardo say La Volpe and then Ezio say the fox, same word, but Leonardo's reaction makes it seem like Ezio has said something way out of pocket, and it's just an interesting artifact of the two languages bumping up against each other.
A bit disorganized. That should do, I hope. And please, come back often.
80. All good, all good.
What skill?
All right. Just gonna climb this viewpoint and then get excited about going and meeting up with the fox. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh. And thinking about my knees. Good gravy. My knee is still fucked up and I don't know why. It's really frustrating. No idea what happened to it. Just woke up one day. Was just like, oh, knee is gonna be bad. Just decided knee is gonna be unpleasant for a little bit, but c'est la vie. This is the joys of being fortunate enough to age. Yeah, it's not my favorite thing. The impact of phenomenal time on one's body is inexorable and unpleasant. Like even when we do our best to take care of all of the things, it's just our bodies, experience wear and tear. It's like, and it's one of the weird things about, like, I think about, again, one of the things I love about Old Man Ezio is that, like, that is the thing that comes up. It's very entertaining. There are a handful of I'm too old for this shit jokes. But it's wild. I feel like I spend so much time at this point just trying to, like, maintain and maintain the level of physical fitness that I've somehow allowed my body to drift down into, but also just sort of repair from the stupid damage that I have inexplicably done. I don't know how, when could I have hurt this knee? Who the fuck knows? Could not tell you, but here we are. And it'll be fine. Keep walking the dogs. It's all good, but damn, it hurts. Damn, it hurts sometimes. Anyway. Okay, to catch a thief. Gonna go see Volpe. I did forget for a hot minute. I did not think that this is the game where we go to Venice. It is the game where we go to Venice. I think we go to Venice in Brotherhood as well, but this one is definitely like we're here for a while, but we're gonna be going to Venice soon. Oh. Yes, we can swim. In fact, I think we're gonna have a kind of pivotal swimming moment shortly. Yeah, no more dying when you fall in water. We are not hydrophobic any longer. Now I'm trying to remember where. There's a secret thing around here, but we'll find it later.
What? My pouch. My money.
Your money. I don't have your money.
Get back here! I really have no interest in hurting you. So give me back my money and we'll call it even.
Not so fast.
What do you want? Who are you?
They call me many things. Murderer, tagliagole.
Yeah, right.
But you may call me La Volpe. At your service, Messer Ezio.
How do you know my name?
It is my business to know everything in this city. Isn't that why you're here?
Indeed. I need to find someone. To know where he'll be before even he does.
Who?
Francesco de Pazzi.
Excuse me.
A caravan just arrived from Roma. A secret meeting at sunset tonight. You can learn something of Francesco's whereabouts there.
Do you know where it is to be held?
Ma certo. Let me know when you are
The
ready,
gestures.
and we'll go.
It's everything. We are truly very Italian.
Here is your money.
It's just I love a good everything about this game. Everything's amazing. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna get into what is probably gonna be the last thing we do, and then maybe we'll do a little bit more running cleanup. But running around and doing map cleanup things. But yeah, we're gonna get to see the last little bit of fun conspiracy thinking things that are gonna come into play. It's yes. I love this dumb game. I love this dumb game so dang much. See? I can swim. No problem. Can jump around in the water. It's great. Love it. I do remember the first time I fell into the water playing this game. I was like, fuck, because I remember I was being chased and I fell into the water and I was like, no. And then I didn't immediately drown, but I did then get killed by the archers that were chasing after me. It was very funny.
Follow me, but we must move fast. Think you can keep up?
Nessun problema.
Now we're going to have to go run very fast and keep up with the Volpe, who's going to make fun of us the whole time.
What are you doing back there? I said to keep up with you.
Yeah. And then it, of course, times you getting to where you're going, which is kind of frustrating because I've now made a wrong turn and it's going to make me do this again. Yeah, this is right. I'm also, I forgot that there are like really frustrating parts of this game that I thought were in Assassin's Creed 1, but are actually this one, like these races that are like super, like these, a lot of the countdowns in this game are so tight and so frustrating, and if you, it's so easy to just miss them by like a second if you fall once. But yeah, we'll get into races and things future.
His people inside that church.
How do I join them?
There are catacombs that run under the city. They will lead you to a place where you can eavesdrop on the meeting. Grip that stone handle. Turn it, then slide it down.
Thank you for all your help.
That stone handle, that definitely doesn't look like anything we're familiar with. Yeah, this definitely doesn't look like, that's not familiar to us at all. Like, definitely not. No, surely that has nothing to do with the Order. Also, like this weird involved mechanism. So much of this game is I have to remind myself just not to think about it. Like, just don't. You just don't think about any of it too hard. But yeah, now we are in a catacomb run. So the other thing that I forgot is not in this game, but is in the next one is percentage completion. So like the idea that you can get 100% sync. Because I thought that was this game. It's not. It's the next game. And that is going to get fun is the wrong word. That's going to get tough because catacombs like this end up in that game are very often timed or for 100%. So you have to finish it in a certain amount of time, or there will be ones where it's a whole, like, navigation is about moving around a bunch of floating platforms and you get 100% sync by not touching the water, and it's tough. It was hard. It's a hard fucking game. But like, it also, the 100% sync felt kind of structurally necessary. It felt like a thing that like needed to be done. And we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to commit to that just yet. The nice thing is that at that point, it also makes it a lot easier. That game makes it a lot easier to go back and like replay missions. Once you've unlocked them, you don't have to like go find them on the map. You can literally just go into the mission log and run them. And so I think that, there's a version of this where we'll be able to do that in a way that is a little bit more enjoyable. But we'll see. We'll see when we get there.
It's so cold. What do you want, Ilario? Messer Pazzi is paying us good money to watch the entrance, and the dead won't try to murder us. I can't wait to go home to Elena and tell her how much gold we made tonight.
I love that little line as just a reminder of like, hey, these people have families. You're going to go kill all of them. Just sort of, you know, very much in the, like, it's very, it's got a very Obsidian vibe of like, hey, don't you feel like morally gray about what you're doing because this person has like a person they're going home to? Shouldn't, yeah, exactly. You should feel at least just like a little bad, right? Okay, nothing to loot from that, man.
That food. You won't escape.
Dang. You wouldn't steal a man. Sorry, I've been way too into the like old "you wouldn't steal a movie" memes that are popping around lately. Because at this point they're kind of funny. Again, my favorite thing is that you wouldn't steal a movie anti-piracy ads ended up not properly licensing the music used and some of the imagery used, so technically they were doing exactly what they were giving people a hard time about, which I find a little bit entertaining. Wait, now how do I go? Oh, how do I go to there? I go that way. That way I go to there. Yeah, I am glad that we haven't reached. I mean, we have. So Assassin's Creed does have like certain types of choices when you get later into the games. And I do really appreciate that like the latest game has a canon mode where they take a lot of that out. Where it's like you can play it with full choice options. But you can also play it. You can also play it where it's just like, this is how we wrote it.
I'm running to the other guard post, so help me God.
But I appreciate that none of it is like, you're not like, at no point is it, you know, building a Mass Effect style morality meter. You know, you're just sort of, you're making choices about who to romance, and maybe you might spare some people or, you know, X, Y, or Z, but it's just sort of, you know, I appreciate that they've not dipped their toes into that space.
Move.
Okay, and now for one of the more frustrating bits of this,
I'll be back with the other guards.
which is we have to chase this guy down, and not actually, we don't have to catch this guy. But there is an advantage to catching this guy, because catching him means that the other guards don't get tipped off, but it's really hard. There's a very narrow window where you can actually catch him because other things keep getting in the way, like that gate. And that floor falling, and you having to do this. It's, you know, I remember doing this like a dozen times because I was like, oh, I'll just get it right. And it's like, no, there's not really a getting it right. It's meant to be frustrating, and you are meant to lose. Like keeping an eye. Yeah, there we go. Right. The only way to get the dude. All right, and then we keep on going up the hill. Because now you can sneak your way in to the space without the guards being alerted. Which is handy.
Et benedictio Dei omnipotentis, Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, descendat super vos et maneat semper.
Grazie, padre. Bernardo.
It's all here. Swords, staves, axes, armor, bows. Our men will want for nothing.
I take this gift to mean the Pope consents.
He gave his blessing to the operation. As long as nobody's killed.
We're all set for the Duomo in the morning, Signore. The bait's been laid, but it wasn't easy. His fool brother keeps changing his plans.
See, we'll need to be on hand to make sure Giuliano even gets out of bed for church tomorrow.
What is it, Jacopo? Do you think they suspect something?
Impossible. The Meddici are too arrogant or too stupid to even notice. Likely a bit of both.
Do not underestimate our enemies, Francesco. Or have you already forgotten how your son was murdered?
Oof, brutal.
We'll suffer no such surprises this time, Maestro. You have my word.
Molto bene. I should be off. I've some other business to attend to before I return to Rome. Gentlemen, tomorrow a new sun rises over Firenze. May the Father of Understanding guide us.
May the Father of Understanding guide us.
Okay, so something messed up is happening tomorrow at Mass, but also, ooh.
Look at that statue. It's identical to one in the Villa Auditore. I think you've stumbled onto one of the assassin's tombs Ezio's uncle mentioned.
Thanks, Sean. We're really fucking stupid, and obviously we didn't know that.
Now that we know the way in, I'll tag the landmarks containing tombs in the database.
So the other thing that's interesting is we're in the era of like rough face animation, but part of that is because like it's one model no matter how far away or close you are. So part of what makes the animation rough is that the eyes are always a little bit too big because they want you to be able to see the eyes from when you're far away so that they don't look like eyeless faces. So it's like Ezio's eyes are way too big, but that's because when we're in a scene and he's far away from us, they want us to be able to see them. It's fucking weird. Right, because you can't make the white brighter because then it makes it look like their eyes are glowing. So the only way to make them more visible is to make them a little bit bigger. And so their eyelids are always a little bit too, like their eyelids don't quite close enough. They're always a little bit, it's just sort of, you know, you definitely see this when like he's interacting with his sister in the villa. Like her eyes always just look a little bit too big and bugged out. It's a whole thing. Hey, look at that. Crawling out of a sewer. Good job, Ezio.
I know where Francesco will be and when. But
what is it?
I overheard something. They have weapons, enough for a battalion. Even the Pope has given support.
Typical of Sixtus, but... what the hell are they planning?
I couldn't understand the specifics, but it involves the Meddici, and it begins tomorrow morning at the Duomo.
The Meddici will all be there for Sunday service. Along with the rest of Firenze.
They're going to do it right in the middle of High Mass.
But it's also a chance for me to blend with the crowd, get close, and stop this madness.
If they succeed, if we lose Lorenzo and Firenze falls to the Pazzi...
It will not come to that. I promise.
I hope you are right.
Yeah, and so the last link in this game's conspiracy theory chain comes into play. Secret tombs, which will also be load bearing throughout the remainder of the games. Secret tombs are kind of pivotal to the rest of the Assassin's Creed games for sure. It's pretty wild. But another fun thing. Definitely all totally normal and fine. Nothing weird about any of this at all.
I've only the highest quality.
Pick up some splatters. Not going to invest in any new weapons just yet. We're not quite there. Not going to chase that guy down at the moment. But yeah. Oh yeah, and also speaking of so in the whole 100%ing thing, at least in these games, so this is not true in all future games, but like everything you purchase offers return, because the idea, like every weapon, every piece of armor, like none of it is a sunk cost. Having those display racks full, means that your villa is making more money.
The latest fashionable paintings, sculptures, and hangings. And I'm letting them go for next to nothing. Mere quattrini.
Did I need to listen to his whole thing before it would let me shop, or is it just being weird about not letting me press the button? There we go. Okay. Doop-a-doo. Picking up treasure maps just because it's going to make my life easier down the road. Let's see what paintings are here too. Right, because we have Madonna and Child, Baptism of Christ, lots of classics. It's just bizarre. And yeah, one of my approaches to this game is, especially when you're not like running into struggles with combat, is just like invest. Yeah, because of how the base building and money mechanic works out, the thing to do is like invest, buy the things that you can afford, because they will reap dividends. That money does come back around, and the more you're willing to do that up front early in the game, the more quickly you can build your base up, the more you're going to be able to build out your weapons and armor and get into the late game. I also really like, one other thing that I think is a really nice touch is that your armor actually does change your appearance. You can, wearing different pieces of armor, like Ezio's putting those on. It's not all just sort of a one size fits all look. And we'll also get into playing with the colors that you can wear soon. And capes. Anyway, let's go prevent a murder. Not usually our forte. We're generally in the business of committing murders. But this morning, we're going to take a minor detour, try to prevent one.
It's Lorenzo, his wife. There's Giuliano, Lorenzo's brother. Where is Francesco? There he is.
Right. Yep. Sorry, speaking of the eyes thing.
Giuliano, no! No!
Fucking wild. Just sitting on that guy's chest, stabbing him repeatedly. Absolutely fucking insane.
Your day is done, Lorenzo. Your entire family dies by my sword. Son! You son yourself! Die! Just die already! Please! I need help!
I will say one thing that is really tough about this game is that it is super easy to accidentally do friendly fire with the sword. But we're gonna save Lorenzo. Good God, stop hitting him. No. Also, the hammers in this game are brutal. Like, that thumping sound is really intense. Fucking lands. Like, you hear those hits. Okay, there we go.
You saved my life. It's nothing. But the man who did this to you has to pay.
Also, weird glitch where Ezio doesn't move his mouth.
To my home. People I trust. Can you...
And now we escort Lorenzo.
I'm losing a lot of blood.
Hang on, signor. I'm moving as fast as I can.
Francesco de Pazzi! I'll kill him. I'll wipe his entire family from the city. They'll be erased!
Quietate, signore. Conserve your energy, or I'll be delivering a corpse.
Yeah.
We're almost there now.
Oh, right. Okay, gotta go over here and then this way. Yep, we're almost there. Okay.
I'm more than capable of this. I've not forgotten. I've not forgotten.
I'm trying to figure out if I actually have to do this fight. Yeah, I do. I have to become anonymous. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Killing these guys. Oh. Okay, cool. Great. All right. We're clear.
Lorenzo's been wounded. Aprite la porta!
What's the password? Polizia, open the maledetta port. The Christ's greatest, come in, quick! The city is at war! Hurry! Wait. I am in your debt. Tell me, why did you help me?
You are not the only one who lost a brother to the Pazzi. My name is Ezio Auditore.
You're Giovanni's son. Your father was a good man. He understood honor, loyalty.
The Pazzi thugs are storming the Palazzo della Signoria. We cannot hold them off much longer.
No. If they get inside, they'll murder our supporters and put their own devils in power.
Can't have that.
My survival would mean nothing. I have to... Francesco de Pazzi. Help save our city, Auditore. Kill him.
The melodrama is so high. It's so good. Yeah, it's so fucking solid. Okay. Let's go kill Francesco de Pazzi.
I saw Francesco lead a battalion along the back of the Palazzo della Signoria. I fear he may be seeking another way in.
Go, before it's too late. Do what you can!
Francesco de Pazzi. Brought up as a noble in a city captivated by the newly rich Meddici family, Francesco was taught to hate the middle class and its social climbers. Dismayed, he watched as the Meddici bank eclipsed his own, and centuries of influence over the Florentine government slipped away. It looks like the Spaniard offered him a solution. Rather than compete in something as dirty as banking, Francesco only had to do one thing for the Templars, one thing to put the middle class in their place for good. Kill the Meddici. Giovanni Auditore tried to stop Francesco by putting him in jail, but the Templars took care of that.
So good. Okay, now we go and do a good old-fashioned climb a tower, kill a man. This one's fun. Yeah. I do appreciate that. I mean, the game throws you around night and day in a way that I like. I don't know. Less to say about this one other than it's very fun to get Francesco here. It's always nice to see this asshole get his comeuppance. Where's that? Is it? Oh, it's up. Where is it? Where is it? What the fuck? Oh, it must be. There's a balcony. Of course, there's a balcony. Yes. So we are. So we're in the machine more in this game. There's less out of the machine, but also, let me see if that's true. In theory, let me see. I think I can exit the Animus kind of whenever I want. And if not now, then later I'll be able to. Oh, fuck. Damn it. Well, now I gotta fix that. My own damn fault for running around. But yeah, we will be able to. There is explicitly time outside of the Animus, where you're, doing some stuff in the modern day. Because Lucy did say that we were going to be learning how to be a better assassin, and so they do follow through on that. Because otherwise, it wouldn't be as fun. Like, we gotta be able to root for Desmond. Getting some reps in, learning how to be an actual, a real life assassin, an assassin big boy.
Ciao, signori. E mention me to your amici.
Okay, where are we?
This man is a brutal, cold-hearted killer. We must all work toward his apprehension.
Surrounded by the sounds of battle. Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about when we go to the moon.
You men, why aren't Men, slaughter him!
I'm kidding. We don't actually ever go to the moon. I do love that line, "You again, why aren't you dead?" We don't go to the moon. I'm just fucking with you. Yeah, that would be truly unhinged. Funny though. It would be funny. Let me see. I think there's a way to actually sneak around and like get to him. Let me see. Can I go down? Go down. Can you go over? No. Okay. Fine.
Get him!
Good God. Fucking Archer. No, it would be. So I did actually for a long time wonder if, because I did for a long time wonder if this game, and I'm trying to remember what the other big Ubisoft game was at the time, where you're hackers. It'll come to me later. I did for a long time wonder if it would eventually like have a crossover. All right, let's see.
Guards! Guards!
No one's coming. It's just us now.
Maledetto che il diavolo ti porti! Stammi lontano!
I'm gonna chase this motherfucker. I hate this. I hate this shit so much. Cause like the key is to basically get him as early as fucking possible, because otherwise he will take your ass on a run around the city. It sucks. He's a pain in the ass. He sucks so much. But where the fuck? Francesco, you motherfucker. I hate his punk ass shit. Fuck. Come on. No, get up. Yeah, come on. Go. Fuck. I'm working on it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. I know. I fucked up on 2 counts. It's fine. We'll get him next time. Okay. Alright, because the trick here, yep, is take the outside corner. Yep. Get his motherfucking ass. Go. Yes. Chasing him sucks.
Now Firenze will judge you for what you've done.
It's over.
Meglio essere felici in questa vita. Aspirare a essere
Truly a race to stabbing.
Requiesca in pace.
Okay. Brutal, but effective. And that is the end of the Pazzi. Satisfying. Yeah, I don't know why. When I'm in here, it's just like all I want to do is run around. Just really satisfying running through the void, not running into people. Ugh. And this is the part where the open world really kind of opens up. I do yearn for the open field. Because, you know, we're in Florence. Florence is much bigger than Tuscany in terms of like what's going on the map. We've got all of these little markers. We've got 2 fun, weird tombs that we can get into, a whole bunch of races and things that we can start running. And then we're going to do this quick conversation with Meddici.
When I was 6 years old, I fell into the Arno. I soon found myself drifting down and into darkness. Certain my life was at an end. Instead, I woke to the sound of my mother weeping. At her side stood a stranger, soaking and smiling at me. My mother explained that he had saved me. And so began a long and prosperous relationship between 2 families. Yours and mine.
Oh, God.
I am sorry I could not save your father and brothers.
Sometimes I forget how Italian this game is. It's so Italian-American.
Giacomo de Pazzi played a part in their deaths. They attack on you as well. Need to find him.
That coward fled before we could arrest him.
Have you any leads?
No. They've hidden themselves well.
They?
Jacopo was not the only conspirator.
If they work with Jacopo, they were surely involved in the plot against my family as well. Give me their names.
Antonio Maffei, Archbishop Francesco Salviati, Stefano da Bagnone, and Bernardo Baroncelli.
Bene. I will go and see my uncle. He has men stationed in the countryside.
Wait. Before you go.
A codex page.
I took it from the files of Francesco de Pazzi, seeing as he clearly no longer needs it. I've always had an interest in things of antiquity. As did your father.
It's meaningful to me as well.
Then consider it a gift. Che il Signore ci protegga.
Yeah.
Jacopo de Pazzi, the money. This guy was the head of the Pazzi family, and he ran their banking business. An associate of Lorenzo de Meddici, he had nothing against him personally. So he hired 4 Templar hitmen to take care of the situation for him. Bernardo di Bandino Baroncelli. Brought up to hate the Meddici family for the exile of his cousins, Baroncelli ran the numbers in the Pazzi bank by day, and murdered for the Templars at night. It was Baroncelli who delivered the first blow. Stefano de Bagnone. Known for his cruelty, Bagnone was trained in Rome as a Templar butcher. It was Bagnone who stabbed Lorenzo de Medici in the back. Antonio Maffei. Witness to the sacking of Volterra by Florentine mercenaries, Maffei blamed Lorenzo. He joined the Templars to seek revenge. It was Maffei who slashed Lorenzo's neck. Archbishop Francesco Salviati. Convinced he would be the next Archbishop of Florence, Salviati was enraged when Lorenzo stood in his way. But the Templars were there to heal his wounds. It was Salviati who marched their troops into the city.
I love these little video things. I think they're a very fun way to make the game flow. Okay. Well, so what's going to happen next?
I've marked the Palazzo Meddici on your map. In order to achieve 100% sync with Ezio's life, you should go exploring.
Thank you, Rebecca. So there's a lot of exploring to do, but one of the things we're going to do first is go back to the villa to get the money in the chest so that it doesn't fill up, which is something that we're going to have to do periodically throughout the game. Is this, the game really does demand that you go back and check in and keep going back to base in a way that I think ends up being useful, because it sort of forces you to move around the map, which I like. I think it works well. I just remember how we go about that. So we're going to find an exit, and then I think we're going to call it for today, because it's been good, productive. We got through everything I wanted to get through, and about the time we wanted to get through it. And, things have gone so relatively smoothly, reasonably. Yeah, about as smoothly as that one. So, yeah, all's well. Before we head back, we'll stop in to see Da Vinci one more time to get these codex pages translated. Oh man, and pigeons are back in play, which means like assassination contracts are in. We got so much to do next time. So much to do. Wait, where's... Oh. Never mind. Da Vinci is who we actually need to see next, so we're not going to do that because that'll start another mission, and I don't want to do that because I'm tired. It's been a long day, long week, and we're having fun. But yeah, hang out, get back to Monteriggioni, start there. Things will be fun. Had a mild scare when I went to start the stream today. I hop on a little early and all that jazz. Went to start up the stream, and the game was like, "Oh no, we can't launch. Sorry." And it's because the hard drive that was plugged into the console got unplugged, and then of course, because I had tried to launch the game on the disc, it was like, oh, we'll just install it on the console again. So had a very fun moment of like, the game, is it broken? Maybe it's broken. Wasn't broken, but everything was fine. But it was just sort of this like fun little countdown of like, is the game gonna let me play it? What's happening? Why is this happening now? What's the point of having the disc if it's gonna be a pain in the ass? And all was fine. But just keeping us on our toes. Anyway. Running up the hill. Doing the thing. The art for Monteriggioni is so fucking hard. It's just like Ezio on a rearing horse for no apparent reason. But hell, it works. Running up that hill. Making a deal with God. Yeah, So, for the VOD, doing a little spiel. Now that we've done our first couple kills and are now into the assassinating conspirators section of the Assassin's Creed game, make sure to follow us on the socials and check out the Patreon. I think we've identified one of the first pieces of Patreon content that will be happening soon, which is the... I think I'm going to do a watch and react to the Assassin's Creed movie, because I think that would be very, very funny. And I think that is an easy thing to put behind the paywall. I think that would be a lot of fun. So something to keep an eye out for that will come together at some point in the not too distant future. And we'll see, we'll see whether that, I think we'll probably start with doing just like a recorded watch along. And I'll let folks know when that's happening, and stream it. And then we'll, take it from there. And then, yeah, otherwise we'll be back in a week with another round of hanging out and doing Ezio things. Oh yeah, there's right, and then there's this map, which we didn't even get into, but which we will do more of soon. This weird map of what could it be? Sorry, got distracted by making the map face the right direction. Okay, cool. Yes. Brain's back. Anyway. Let's start that over again, shall we? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give that, every week we're doing murder. But I'm going to start that over again from the beginning. If you're not already, follow us on the socials. Started editing a podcast interview for Applying to Everything, which is going to be coming back soon, which is a podcast that I used to do and will be doing again. So part of that will be coming back. New episodes will be dropping. More information on that coming soon. We're recording an actual play podcast with a bit of a twist starting in a few weeks, so that'll be fun. If you haven't checked out the Patreon, consider supporting us on Patreon. We'll be doing a watch of the much maligned Assassin's Creed movie soon. So that'll be interesting. And then, I will probably start drafting other people from other projects like the actual play into doing stuff. My friend James, friend of the show, James, who is going to be on that actual play. I think I'm going to try and rope into a thing we've talked about for a long time, which is tasting notes on terrible liquor, or getting drunk and watching bad movies. So lots of fun stuff coming down the road, and should be interesting, all things considered. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go to sleep, and hopefully the weather holds out and doesn't rain all of us into oblivion. But thanks for coming back this time. We'll see you next week. Bye.